Alright, so I don't really have an intro, so we're just gonna get right into the video. But this right here, well, clearly you seen the thumbnail, you seen the title. This is my sketchbook, and I ain't really got much to say about this sketchbook. I mean, it was a huge stepping stone in my art progress, but like this is one of those sketchbooks where I was just drawing. I wasn't really learning anything, if I'm being honest. As you can see right here, I was doing figures and things of that nature. But the technique, while the lines and spear technique might work for some people, that don't really work for me. You know, that's why later on in the sketchbook, I don't really know which page it is. I think, I don't know. It's a page where I show a deku, I think. That's when I start using boxes to draw my characters and things of that nature. For me, I can't lie, I usually overcomplicate most things. I really don't know why, but it just helps me draw better. For example, if I'm drawing somebody, I need to draw boxes and then circles in those boxes, and it's just like all the little minute details matter to me. You feel me? That usually doesn't matter to other people. Everybody's art process is different, but for me, I need to do all that or I just can't draw. I've been getting out of that. I've been using purely circles and cylinders, spears and cylinders as of late, but I usually use boxes and spears, or I think it's ellipses or ovals, however you want to put it. So, but anywho, oh, here it is right here, the deku. I think this one wasn't too good, but on the next page, that one's way better. This was one of my first times actually using boxes for my art. See right there, box method. Box might be the method. And in this sketchbook, I think around this time I was doing more graffiti than I was drawing characters. I just didn't like doing graffiti in my sketchbook a lot. But as you can see right here, I was playing with perspective, spamming those boxes. It's like once you start to use them, you start to spam them. You feel me? I used the box wrong. Look at the box for his torso. Horrible. I would never do that now. I drew Sonic and Shadow, purely in pen. That was from, I think, an art competition. And I asked him, I was like, do you have any tips you can give me? And he said, well, the only tip I can really give you is start drawing in pen more instead of just inking your pencil work. Which, I'm not going to lie, I do not do that shit. Like, bro, I did that once or twice. I might do it every now and then, but I will always use my pencils. For example, right here, I don't think this drawing right here, even though it's off in some areas, I don't think it would have been as cool if I would have used just pure pen. Here's some of my characters. Prototype designs, I had to clean them up. And I think I was watching Vinland Saga at the time, so I drew some Thorfinn, drew some skulls, was trying to learn how to draw the head. And I think that's one of the only times I used that. I never drew the skull ever again in this sketchbook, I think. In my later sketchbooks, by the way, let me know if y'all want to see those. In my later sketchbooks, I started using, I started drawing skulls way more and actually learning how to map out the figure instead of just drawing it. That drawing right there that I was just showing, that was when I first started getting into like FNAF content, so I had to draw it up. We Happy Few, heard the game was trash, but the story was goated. There go one of my OCs, Owari. And on this page, I was just practicing faces for Owari because in like earlier work, he looked like Deku, and I didn't really want him to look like Deku. Here's the skeleton. I stopped using the skeleton after this. I think on one of the next pages. Oh no, this is when I was like really into pinup art. I remember this. A bunch of my OCs. And then I did a big page for, I think this OC is called Sunshine, and then I had to cut the video because something had happened. I think a fly had flew on my sketch, but I had to obliterate, bro, and then start recording again. But that was a few more of my OCs. Two more of my OCs. And I think on this page right here, I start drawing the muscles. Never went back to that page after that. And then here's the arm. Never used that page. Owari, my OC again. And then I drew that page. I drew my character Lays. His face was looking horrible, so I went to draw faces. So I think I have 3-4 pages of just straight faces that I drew. And then I started to get more into like semi-realistic art and more anime. So I have Soul Eater and Musashi, some more faces. I think her name is, dang, what's her name? I really be forgetting her name. Maka. Her name is Maka. Here's another one of my OCs. I call her Angel. I think I end up changing her name a little bit later on. There go my Dragon OC. She's based off a character from Dragon Maid. I think it's Lukua or something like that. Here goes some of that graffiti I was talking about that I didn't really want to do in this sketchbook. I've lost all that style, by the way. I don't even think I can do graffiti like that anymore. I was into Bloodborne, so you seen bro from Bloodborne right there. Here's some more graffiti, some more dope styles that I end up never coming back to. And then this page specifically right here, I call this page the Goon page. I think I ended up coloring this page. I changed it a little bit, but I ended up coloring this page in digital once I had got my drawing tablet. I think I was half asleep drawing that page. And then once again, and I think this was purely pen, I did some of my favorite characters from My Hero, some more graffiti, more styles that I don't use ever. I really need to get back into graffiti. I'm starting to understand it more. And then I think this Johnny, I drew this in school, and then when I got home, I drew that Deku. And man, perspective killed me on that one, man. I just couldn't get it done. I think these two pieces are from like other artists, more like figures and things of that nature, poses. I always really had a problem with posing, so I started to work on that a little bit. Here's another one of my characters. I had to make a yandere character sooner or later. Like, it had to be done. You feel me? So the Shinjuku Showdown was happening around this time, so had to draw a page for it. Some figures. I don't even think I show that page. Yeah. Here go the Shinjuku Showdown page. Didn't even draw Sukuna's feet. Just was ready to be done. I drew that one panel that everyone draws. The Go Beyond plus Ultra panel. You know? And the perspective on this, horrible. Could have did better, but my art's way better now. This sketchbook is from early 2024. I think I was in my junior year of high school. Gachi Akuto wasn't even mainstream yet when I drew that. that got you to OC. I think I redrew this because the characters were too small. So some more perspective, both pages. Was drawing some figures. I hate getting a figure reference pack and it's just a turnaround of one pose. I hate that. Drew a page upside down. It was supposed to be the Straw Hats. And then I think that's Superior Spider-Man right there. Some more perspective poses, really practicing, still using that horrible technique. I mean, it's not really horrible, it's just not for me. Some more poses, I don't think I ended up showing them too much. That's Guts from Berserk, clearly. And then I drew Death the Kid. I did a thumbnail sketch. I think I drew that in class my senior year. Some pinup art. Some other art just off of Pinterest. And then this picture on the left that I'm about to show, this is from, I think, art class my senior year. And it was just a goofy picture they had asked me to redraw. And then practicing anatomy. Tried to practice some anatomy, I think, on my own. Nah, those are references from Pinterest. And then I did this one on the left. I did that one completely by myself. Still proud of it to this day. And then I tried to do some poses. No reference. Hands. Man. Here's some OCs per se that I was going to use for a story. Here's fleshed out pages of the OCs. Was really getting into the clothes and the specific themes of the different characters. And then the perspective on this, fire, but the mech, trash. Black Myth Wukong had just came out, so I had to draw something of Black Myth Wukong, clearly. Here's my two OCs in Crosshatch's style. His style is so tough, but I don't really like to use it. And then I think this is the last page of the sketchbook, which I think I'm gonna come back to that because I'm a way better artist now. But yeah, that's really it. That's my whole sketchbook right there. Let me know if you want to see any more sketchbooks, because I have about 5-6 more. Don't really mind showing them, but other than that, like, subscribe if you want to. And I'm not sure if I already said this, but comment down below if you want to see my other sketchbooks. And other than that, have a great rest of your day.